Okay, so we're going to continue on page 149. Now, what we were working with before was percents that were greater than 100. Now we're going to look at percents that are less than 1%. So we're going to look at number 4 together. It says find 0.25% or 0 and 0.25% of 58. So we're going to remember decimal to percent and percent to decimal. Means we're going to move it 2 places to the right if we're going from a decimal to a percent. If we're going from a percent to a decimal, means we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. This is a percent. So if I have 0 and 25 hundredths, and I am moving that from percent, I'm moving that percent as a decimal, or as a percent to a decimal, I'm going to move it 2 places to the left. 1, 2. Annex is 0. 0.0025. I have now gotten rid of the percent. I have turned that from a percent to a decimal. So now I'm really taking this and multiplying it by 58. Now, when we multiply decimals, we want to get rid of the decimals, move them out all the way to the end, and then bring them back in once we have the answer. So when I look at 0 and 25 thousandths, I'm going to move that decimal over 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to write a 4 up here so that I know that that's what I have to move it back to. Now, because I've moved that decimal point out, I am just left with 25 times 58. So we're going to go ahead and multiply this out. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. Put my 0 down. 5 times 5 is 25. I'm going to carry my 2 tens. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. And I'm going to add it up. 5, 4, 1. Now, this is where I bring the 4 back into down here. Okay? Oops. Yeah. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happening. There we go. Okay. I've hit something. Oh, well. Okay, so here, my decimal point is at the end, and I have to bring it back in 4 places because I moved it out 4. I've got my answer 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is 0.1450 or just 0.145 because that 0 at the end does not really matter. All right, let's practice down here. So percent of a number. Of means to multiply. dp this way by 2. Okay? So if I have a percent, I'm moving it to a decimal, and I'm going to move that over 2 places. 1, 2, annex is 0. Now my problem becomes this times 200. Okay? Now, I'm going to get rid of that decimal. Oops. I'm going to get rid of that decimal. 1, 2, 3. It is 3 places. I'm going to mark that there so I know. Now my problem really becomes 200 times 3 because I've moved it out 3 places. Okay? And 0, 0, 2 times 3 is 6. How many places do I need to move it in? 3. It's always at the end of a whole number, so I'm going to move it in 3 places. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to annex a 0, and my answer becomes 0 and 6 tenths. So 0.3% of 200 is 6 tenths. Okay? All right, we're going to do some practice. So turn the page, and we're going to go, I got to look at it here. Okay, we're going to go to this page right here on 150. Oops. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look at these problems right here. It says 32% of 60. So 32%, percent means out of 100, and we're going to multiply that by 60 over 1. Okay? Now we're going to cross simplify, just because we might as well, or we can simplify 32 and 100. So let's first simplify 32 hundredths. So over here I'm going to go 32 hundredths, And I know that I can divide each of those by 4, which is going to give me 8/25, and we're going to multiply that now by 60 over 1. Okay, we can cross simplify here, because I look at 60 and 25, I know I can divide each of those by 5. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. 60 divided by 5 is 12. So now my problem becomes 8 times 12, which is 96. And then I have 5 times 1, which is 5. Can I leave my problem as 96 over 5? No, that is an improper fraction. So I have got to divide. So I'm going to divide this out. I cannot have my number on the top be bigger than my bottom number. And I'm going to put maybe a decimal point here because I might have to add another one. I know that I can do, I think I'm going to do this. Let's switch this, kind of give me some room over here. So I'm going to take my problem, we're going to take it down below here, okay? So I'm going to take 96/5, and I'm going to divide it by 96. I'm going to put a decimal point there, okay, just in case. I know that goes in once. Let me move this up just a little bit. Okay, and that gives me 4, bring down the 6. If I have 46, I can make 9 groups. Oh my goodness, see what happens, my hands kind of take over. That makes 9 groups, which is 45. 1, I put that 0 there. That can go in 2 times, so therefore my answer is 9.2, 9 and 2/10. Yes, you can get a decimal for an answer. That is a number. It is okay. Okay? Don't think because you got a decimal that that's not right. Yes, you can get a number that is like that. Okay, I'm going to erase this spot a little bit so we have a little bit of room to do this number 2. Okay, 0 and 55%, or 0.55% of 220. Now, because this is a percent that is less than 1, okay, I'm going to answer that. Okay. Man, if I just wasn't so popular, people stop me calling, they coming in all the time. I'm kidding, I'm not popular. Just saying. Okay, now I totally lost where we were at. Oh, okay, so DP, okay, so we're going from a percent to a decimal, so we're going to move this 1, 2, so it gives me 0.0055 times 220. Okay, so we're going to move this decimal out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 places. I'm going to write a little 4. And now my problem becomes 220 times 55. When I multiply this out, 0, 10, 11, 0, 0, 10, 11, 0, 0, 1, 2, 1. So I got this. I got 1, 2, 1, 0, 0, but I know that I have to add my decimal back in. 1, 2, 3, 4 gives me 1.21. And I could add my other zeros, but I don't need to. Okay? All right. If you need some more examples, I'm going to do some on the next video. If you feel like you have it, so you've seen a couple of each, some that are greater than 100, some that are less than 1%, and you also saw how to actually find percent of a number, basically finding an equivalent fraction or using that ratio table. You are good to go ahead and get started on whatever you need to do or whatever is next in your learning. But if you want to watch the next part of the video to get some more help, that is always a good idea, especially with this unit or this chapter, this lesson, because it's can get a little tricky, but you just have to remember the rules. Okay?